at Zimar in May, I came to the total conclusion that I was awareness, and choicelessly that I could not choose to be anything else. This was the seeing. And in a way after that also it felt like the dragons were not slayed, so to speak, but more transcended.
Mm.
But now I'm in a state of where they've raised their ugly heads again, and I'm totally entrenched in it. And it's like I have the knowing, I can see in a way what's going on, but it's just like the mind goes into grooves, familiar grooves, and it just doesn't seem to get out of it. And I'm not very...
It wouldn't matter if you recognize that you are not your mind. It wouldn't matter if you recognize that you are not your mind. This is a very, very... I want to say again, because I really would like you to see this thing. We believe and speak and identify with our mind and mind activity, our thoughts and feelings and so on, that they are what we are, because we believe and live in the costume of being a person. A person is also a portion or an aspect of consciousness, but a very limited idea, very compressed, very limited idea in consciousness. And it suffers because it conceives of itself as being autonomous. I am the doer of my actions and the thinker of my thoughts. I am the conditioning I received. It functions like this. And it has deep insecurities. And those insecurities are easily detected, and the root of them is easy to discern, the root of them. You see? But is this what we are? And there is a fear, because we think this is all I can say about myself. I can write on a piece of paper, I can write an autobiography about myself. And that's everything I know about me. So, if that is transcended or given up, then what is there left of me to explore? Everything about me I can tell you. But if I am to go beyond this, where am I? I mean, nothing. I don't know in this. I have no other reference to be. This is the screen of the mind. You see? Like your life is only about information, data, events, memory, desire, aspiration, the body. That comprises your existence. But that can be in there too. But not only. This is a small thing. So because we believe and identify with our mind and the story, which is the idea we have of who we are, rather than the actuality of what we are, we are living with a self-image which is very incomplete, sometimes very arrogant. And this is your representation. And we can carry on. Some say we have been doing this for lifetimes also, just refining our delusion. So, if you could see that you are not your mind, and you can see, you have seen from that place where mind has very little authority, very little power, when you're in your real place, when you've discovered your awareness being. Because you are that now, even if you're an ignorant person, what to speak. Actually, essentially, you are the intelligence, the pure intelligence, actually. You see? But we are unaware of it. That is it. In that moment when you could see, and you say that I was, without any doubt, I could confirm that I'm the pure self, the pure self. But now, you say, the mind, has come back in. The dragons were transcended, but now they've gathered strength, they've come back in. And I could say, so what? Easy? So what? I mean, the mind is in a tsunami state. There's still enormous space in your being for this shaking mind to exhibit its power, its terror, its ugliness. And simultaneously you're in peace. Does anybody know this state or not? Yeah, that somehow something, but something looks upon that and knows the difference. Knows, I am the awareness in which this mind is behaving like this. But if you want your mind to be good, you want your mind to be kind, then somehow you've made yourself into a lesser thing. You don't have to dominate the mind. You simply have to see that there's witnessing of mind. What is mind anyway? It's only thought. There's nothing called mind. What is the shape of the mind? We know the shape of the brain. Can you see the shape of the mind? Mind itself means thought. It's just thought. The thought activity. And how do you suffer from thought? I'll tell you. Only when thoughts become personal. When they have some personal energy in them. You're not good enough. Guilt. Insecurities. This is the firepower of the psychological mind. You're not good enough. You're not ready for this. Your thinking is too bad. You're not consistent enough. You don't work hard enough. You're a failure. Born failure. Oh, you're a hopeless case. And something believes this. And as you believe it, you sink more low. You feel like this. They're all sensations. They're all unreal. But they you will experience. Because you identify with the self-image rather than as consciousness. This is the only difficulty there can be. And you have to somehow be for a while in the nursery, in spiritual nursery, where you're constantly being reminded and encouraged to look from the deeper place until you become more familiar. It becomes more effortless for you. And then these things will not trouble you anymore. Satsang is that space, because what will process in maybe 3 or 4 weeks would probably have taken you 30 years to process. But in a short time, very intense time, you're going to get flushed out for all this nonsense. You can continue living with that noise, that uncertainty, that insecurity, because it's not your true state. And yet we invest so much energy to try to protect what is unreal, rather than to see its unreality and to find your true nature. That is. So this in and outness, where one moment you feel, I am the Buddha itself. I'm the Buddha itself. I'm free. And next minute, oh my God, my life. My life is falling apart, my God. Where can I go? I'm going crazy. And you don't see that there are thought manifestations, identity, the attack of the sort of personal mind or on the personal mind. I don't think many people are just going to get it like that. Some, the seeing, the understanding begins to push. The understanding begins to push in and open up deeper, greater space inside. But for some people at first it's like a shock. It's like, my God, if I follow what you say, I'm really start to feel lost. And I'll tell you, this feeling lost is advancement. Feeling lost is already a progress, because when you think you're found, you are really lost. And now you have to be lost a little bit then to be found. It's a funny thing. First your world start to crash a little bit, meaning your ideas of who you think you are, what you think this world is, and your place in it. Sometimes it has to collapse. like a deconstruction, but you are encouraged and assisted to look from a higher place, the bird's eye view of it. So you are encouraged also, don't form premature conclusions about what you're experiencing, because it will look terrible in the short term. But from a higher place of looking, everything is in service to your seeing. Even terrible things that seem to happen is in service to your seeing, to your coming home to yourself. But we are so easy to disrupt, easy to unsettle. When you have a strong identity as person only. Person is a very fickle thing. This body is, we say, a mortal body, time body, has birth, has life. One day also you will drop it. But the immortal being is also inside it. And it must discover itself. But it must know the voice of the mind. It must transcend also the voice of the mind. Because the mind for a while will keep to somehow encourage it to stay only physical or material and not to discover its deeper nature.
I genuinely feel that I really, the only thing that I want truly is freedom. But somehow the mind says, okay, well, then there must be some attachments, there must be something you're not willing to let go of because you're not sort of there. And I look, but I really can't see. I can't see, this is so valuable, I don't want to let go of this. I really feel like I could let go of everything, but I don't know. Something must be in the way.
What's in the way is you. Because the idea we have of who we are obstructs real seeing. The idea you have of who you are, I don't know how many of you can really hear this. The idea we have of who we are, that we embrace so tightly, is in the way of your real understanding. The one who is saying, I really want freedom so much, it's more important than anything in the world. You believe in this one also. But this is not your full truth. This is not easy to hear. Because everyone lives from this place of identity. When we hear someone like you speak, we go, oh, this man really wants it. Why does Mooji play? When this man really wants it, he's to the point of tears. Why can't he? I said, actually, you are the freedom. Yourself is that freedom, naturally. But the idea you have of who you are is unfree. And he's saying, I want freedom. I said, okay. And then you push a little bit this idea back into freedom. And then find that actually I want freedom, but I also want this thing as well. Can I take this thing with me? And then what about these things?
But this is what I've been looking. What are these things? What are the other things? And I don't know really.
The other things come with a false identity. They just come with a false identity. How can I explain? Is anybody near to what I'm speaking?
Yes.
Okay. As long as you court the idea that you are only the person, moving only as person, then all these viruses come with the person. They may seem, but where did this come from? Actually, if it comes from nowhere. It's just stuff. It doesn't have to make sense even. It doesn't have to make sense. You're thinking, where did I do? In which part of my life did I pick up this thing? But actually it doesn't matter. The fact is that the thing is not real, but you believe it is real, actually. Like you believe yourself in the aspect of the seeker, the desire is also real. It is an aspect of your energy playing with you, but it's not your sincere self. It is not your ultimate self. But who is going to understand this thing? Because we want somehow some remedy for our identity. But the identity is not true. I used to say it like this: it's like trying to help a ghost who has anorexia. Come on, darling, you must eat. In the end, the ghost is cured, but then the thing is not even real. The one who is suffering the anorexia is not real. The ego is a ghost afraid of dying. The ideas we have about ourselves is not true. But to hear this, if you have a lot of affection for the idea, let me explain something more to take a bit of the pain out of it. Your life as you feel it and so on, it is part of the dance of consciousness. It's not that you deliberately create bad things like that necessarily. It is part of the play of consciousness. It's actually more beautiful than you think it is. But because we identify as person, and the person is always up to try to get the advantage or to try and get something, it has very much self-interest at the heart of its explorations. So it's always biased. It's never even, you see. And because of this self-preference always, it cannot be relied upon. It's not trustworthy. And so it breeds trouble a little. Now to yourself you feel very happy. You compare the best in yourself with the worst in other people. So you feel very good. But somehow, as you begin to look, you develop the courage and the strength to look at things which are not in service to your truth. And you don't feel shame. You just think, okay, fine, it's time to just move this. You don't just sit in a corner crying. You look and say, but this is not true. And gradually the mist clears if you have that strength to look. What I'm trying to do here, we come here for an hour and a half or whatever to sit together as much as I can sit together with you like that. And sometimes miracles happen in that. And sometimes you have to keep on becoming a bit more familiar. If it is, the best I can say for many, especially some of you who are new here, is if something resonates inside your heart, then follow that vibration. It will take you to a deeper place inside. But freedom is free, but it's not cheap. By cheap, I'm not talking about money. I mean that sometimes we want the whole world, but you offer so little of yourself. You just want to sit back and have, your bananas peel for you. But sometimes you have to make something inside has to say, yes, actually, I want to look more into this. As much as can be served in this short time, I say, okay, because I can speak to you like that because you came. I didn't call and get you. You came. So already I trust something is working in you that is searching for this. Maybe not fully. Maybe it's searching for other things as well. But a certain portion of energy is turned towards the realization of truth. Otherwise you wouldn't come. Even if you think you came just to be with your friends. And in some case that is true. But if you came really and think, but I came with them, but actually, but this is for me. Then this is the evidence of grace itself. Gradually, your mind will orientate more towards this kind of understanding. It's rare these days that people are searching inwardly. Everything is so external, or run for a next experience, another thing. But have you found out what you are? A great discovery awaits. To go more deeply into the heart of your soul. as you see, you'll grow in strength. And you'll be able to be in situations where previously you could not bear because they would be too much for you. Now you can see them with no fear, no anxiety, or less anxiety at least. The mind comes in. Why? Because it's been with you from the longest time. It's homegrown. You have a nice little relationship going for so long that now you're not quite sure which is true, not true. So of course, now you've made a discovery, or you're making a discovery, and it's having an impact. And now some resistances, some rebelliousness, some doubts begin to come. Expect these. It will happen. The mind swims back in with all these ideas, and its whispering voice is easily accepted. But gradually you'll come to see these things are not, it's not a truth. It's not a truth. And you can tolerate that, then you will choose to turn away from that. And then it will lose its potency. Everybody suffers mind. No. Almost. Almost everyone is somehow influenced by the whisperings of the mind. Even when you think you are not.
I feel such grace now sitting with you, so I'm fine right now. Thank you.
Very good. There comes a time when it doesn't really matter what is playing outside. Not that you don't care, no? I don't care. No. But you don't mind. Big difference. Not that I don't care, no, but I don't mind. Let it happen. This is already a great strength.